Good afternoon, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Welcome, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. So this afternoon is 17th of September 2024, and it's just around 12:40 p.m. Now we have quite a number of events this afternoon. Volatility is expected, all things being equal. Now by 1:30 p.m., there are about 6 events that will run simultaneously, 4 from Canada, 2 from the United States. Now from Canada, we're having the CPI, that is a Consumer Price Index, CPI, and that's CPI monthly, median CPI yearly, trim CPI, and the common CPI. So we have the CPI monthly from Canada, median CPI yearly, trim CPI, and the common CPI yearly. All of them will run concurrently, by 1:30 p.m. So let's just look briefly at what this event is all about. So I clicked the details on the fourth one. That's the CPI monthly, and it says this event measures the change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers. An actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. The next one also, important part is that actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. The third one, likewise, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. And the fourth one, same thing, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. That's the most important part of this data that we need. So what that means is this, that by 1:30 p.m., now the forecast is the data we have, currently right here, here, and here, and here also. So if the actual release by 1:30 is greater than the forecast, the color of the data will be in green. If the actual is greater than the forecast, and if it's all green, if it's green all through, we'll be expecting a bullish movement on the Canadian dollar. If actual is greater than forecast for all of them, we expect a massive bullish movement for the Canadian dollar. Now, on the other hand, if the actual is less than forecast, the data will be in color red. And at that instance, we expect a massive bearish movement on the Canadian dollar. So if the news is good for the dollar, we expect bullish movement. If the news is bad for the dollar, we expect the bearish movement. Now, however, it's also possible in some rare occasions, there could be some slight conflict, or we may have some to be green and maybe one of them to be black. If you have a green and a black, it's possible to still have a bullish movement. So the volatility will not be as much as when everything is green. And similar thing will be expected if we have some to be red, while like one is black. In that instance also, even though we have a bearish movement, it won't be as volatile as if everything were to be red. But the best scenario this afternoon to have a green for a buy or a red for a sell. And that's for the Canadian dollar this afternoon. The next news is the United States dollar, and the event is core retail sales monthly and retail sales monthly. Now, core retail sales measures the change in the total value of sales at the retail level, excluding automobiles, and actual greater than forecast is good for currency. And the retail sales measures the change in the total value at the retail level, and actual greater than forecast also is good for the currency. So while we are anticipating the data from Canada, data from the United States will be released simultaneously. So if the data from the United States is good for the dollar, it will be in color green likewise, and that can lead to some, bullish movement on the United States dollar. If the data is bad, it will be in color red, and that will lead to some bearish movement. Now, since there are two currency pairs involved, there's a currency pair involved in this. You have CAD and dollar, and the currency pair that connects these two countries together is the USD CAD. Now, the question is, should you trade USD CAD? I will advise to do it with a lot of caution. Yes, we have a news from the United States, we have a news from Canada. Now, USD CAD will buy if we have a scenario where the news is good for the dollar, that is a green for the dollar, and a red for CAD, then that will lead us to a massive bullish movement on the USD CAD. On the other hand, USD CAD will sell, will go bearish if we have a red on the dollar and a green on, on the CAD. So if you want to trade USD CAD, these are things you look out for. You look out for either the news is good for the dollar and bad for the CAD, or the news is bad for the dollar and good for the CAD. It's only under that scenario alone you can trade the USD CAD. If you have a scenario where all the data comes out good for both the dollar and the CAD, please don't trade USD CAD, because it's not going to work. It will lead you to conflict, it will lead you to range, it will lead you to spikes. And the same thing if you have all the data bad all through, both for both the dollar and the CAD, then USD CAD is not an instrument you should trade. I rather encourage that you trade other pairs where the CAD, has, other base or quotes aside from the dollar that can give you a clearer picture of what to trade. The same for the dollar. You may trade other pairs where the dollar has a quote that is another currency, or a base that is another currency. Rather a quote that's another currency. That will give you a clearer picture of what we're expecting for the dollar. So I'm going to switch over now to MetaTrader, and we'll look at our technical bias ahead of this news event. And I'll start with the USD CHF. Now, this is the USD CHF on the daily time frame, and the price currently is trading around a support level on the daily time frame. We have a valid support right here. And currently, price is testing that same support level. So if the news comes out good for the dollar, then we're expecting to see, a reversal in the USD CHF. Now, on a closer look again, we are equally seeing a pattern that looks a lot like an inverse head and shoulder being formed on the dollar, which technically should give us the next wave of bullish movement. So if the news comes out good for the dollar, we're expecting a reversal from this point. Yes, by the arrow I'm drawing, I'm not insinuating that price will go that high today, but I'm just giving an information about the possible direction of price. Now, if the news comes out bad, for the dollar, that means we're expecting the sell. It's possible price may break that support level, but then there's another support level close by, which is this region. So if price breaks, if the news comes out bad for the dollar and it leaves a sell, price will target this next support level. And if it gets to that support, it's still possible to have a reversal technically. So technically, I'm bullish on the dollar, with price at a support and the formation of what looks a lot like, an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which can lead us into a bullish breakout on the dollar. Now, since I'm bullish on the dollar, there's a setup I'm seeing, right here also on another instrument, which is the GBP USD. Now, for the GBP USD, price is currently trading around a resistance level on the weekly time frame. So since price is trading around the resistance level on the weekly time frame, if the news comes out good for the dollar, then we should be expecting the decline, on the GBP USD. So because price is at a resistance, we're expecting a reversal. But that will happen if the news comes out good for the dollar. So if the good news comes out good for the dollar and we're looking at the opportunity to buy USD CHF, then we'll also likely experience a decline in GBP USD. So technically, I'm bearish on the GBP USD. Now for the card, I have a lot of options to look at, but the one I'll pay attention to more is the New Zealand card. Now for the New Zealand card, from the weekly time frame, we can see that the trend line, we can clearly see a descending trend line. Price touched here recently, and currently price is trading around the current level. This is one of the places price touched the trend line. Price is now on this level, and that area is on the same as a resistance level. So that gives us a kind of a confluence right here. So we have the trend line and the resistance. So technically, this means we are looking for an opportunity to sell the New Zealand card. So we'll only sell the New Zealand card if the news comes out good for the card, in which case maybe a currency pair like can't JPY may buy, but then where we'll have our best setup is the New Zealand card. So if the news comes out good for the card, we're expecting a sell on the New Zealand card. And I can see also we have similar type of setup on the AUD card. All right, so this AUD card price just hit a resistance level on the daily time frame. So that means technically we're looking for opportunity to sell the AUD card. So if the news comes out good for the card, we're looking at the possibility of a bearish movement on AUD card. All right, so this afternoon I've analyzed 4 instruments for us to watch out for by 1:30 p.m. when all this news will be released. I'm bullish on the USD CHF on 1 hour. I'm bearish on GBP USD on 1 hour. I'm bearish on the New Zealand card on 1 hour. And I'm bearish on the AUD card on 1 hour. And finally, I'm looking at the DJ30. Now for the DJ30, we can clearly see on the daily time frame that price is in an uptrend. Okay, it's in an uptrend. A while ago, we have what's a resistance level that looks like a double top here. It looks like price is trying to break above it, but the candle is here to close. Anything can happen. But with the trend line and the resistance, technically I'm looking at a reversal on the DJ30, all things being equal. It's possible this is also trying to form what looks like a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and a drop. So if it plays out like this, then that means that in the course of today, maybe after the news, we should expect a decline on the DJ30. So technically, I'm bearish on the DJ30, pending any other, outcome from the market. All right, so that'll be all from my analysis this morning. Oh, sorry, analysis this afternoon. So if you have a question, you can just type it in the comment section. I'll attend to you as we try to round up. EuroCAD. Yes, EuroCAD, that's from Mr. Olabi. EuroCAD is one of the instruments, though I didn't want to give too much. That's why I didn't mention it, since I already gave New Zealand card and AED card. But EuroCAD is equally one of the instruments we can look out for this news event. And the reason is because price is trading at a resistance level on the weekly time frame. It's trading at a resistance level on the weekly time frame. So we're also looking for possibility of a reversal. So if the news comes out good for the card, just like we're expecting a decline or a sell on New Zealand card and AED card, we can also anticipate a sell on the Euro card likewise. Euro USD. Now, USD CHL, like I said, is or has already hit a support level. GBP USD has hit a resistance level. That's the support level that USD CHF has already hit and is looking for a reversal. GBP USD likewise is already trading at a resistance level, very valid resistance level. I'm responding to Mr. Sonny. So, but for Euro USD is,
okay, I'm listening, sir.
Yeah, Euro USD is still not giving us clarity because it might still go ahead, possibly to hit this resistance on the weekly time frame before it experiences a decline. Now, I mentioned yesterday that on the weekly time frame, what I saw is price trading at a resistance touch support, and that might give it a longer term bullish movement. And that's what is playing out as we speak. So it depends on the outcome of the news. It depends. If the news comes out good for the dollar, well, maybe Euro USD is a maybe. Maybe we can choose to experience the decline. Otherwise, it might go ahead to hit this resistance before dropping. So that's my outlook for this afternoon. I think I've attended to all questions. So we need to end the analysis here. So please trade safe by 1:30 p.m. and have and enjoy the rest of the day.
What did you say about Euro? Sorry, sir. What
Yes,
did you say about Euro card? I mean, USD card. No, USD card.
I didn't mention USD card. I said USD card should be traded with discretion because the news coming out is from both the United States and Canada. So it can be a bit tricky to trade USD card. USD card will only move if the dollar is buying and the card is selling, or the dollar is selling, card is buying.
Yes.
If everything comes out to be good for both dollar and card, that would be a no-no for USD card.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Oluwafunke Mushakin is asking about BTC. I'll take that as my last analysis for today. Now, for BTC USD, this is my view. I was trying to check if we can have the trend line touch this current region, but honestly, price is not touching it, and you don't force these things. If it's not working, just leave it alone. But then there's another thing I'm citing. If I go down to the 4-hour time frame, I can see here that we have a kind of a resistance zone. We have a resistance zone right there on the 4-hour time frame. You can see that price is trying to test the tip of that resistance zone. So we can draw now. If price cannot break above that resistance zone, we are expecting a decline. But a further confirmation to the possibility of the decline is that we equally have a trend line right here. Now you can see that price broke out, is testing that trend line, and that may lead to a bearish movement. Also, another reason why we expect possibility of a bearish, that's a shoulder ahead. This may be a second shoulder, which may lead to a decline. So technically, I hold the bearish outlook on the BTC. However, I will advise you trade BTC with a lot of caution, essentially this being a swing, because BTC can be extremely volatile. So trade it with a lot of caution. All right, so that'll be all. Take care and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
Have a good day.